Thank you. For the EDDA and the incident arising from the faster payment system, it's about striking a balance between efficiency and security. By the end of the year, virtual bank licenses would be issued, so we'll see more similar transactions. So having learned the lesson, will the HKMA establish minimum requirements on security and authentication for electronic transactions? As for the SMEs, as Mr. Arthur Yun said, there is no difference in the credit situation, but the SME guarantee scheme will be extended till the end of June next year. And the concession was only in place in October. So would you extend the availability or deadline to November? If you see a sharp rise in the number of applications, will you further extend the scheme so that more SMEs can apply? The third question is on investment infrastructure or infrastructure investment. As you see, the LTGP is the most stable component of the exchange fund. The infrastructure investment is only $2.2 billion US, which is only 0.43% of the exchange fund assets. Will you establish a fixed scope of investment so that infrastructure investment can be diversified? And is there any cap on the or scope on the diversification of infrastructure investment sources? In the use of e-wallets and online banking, customers have different, there are different requirements in place, and the regulator and banks have to consider security, and it's about striking a balance. If you want more convenience, security might be compromised or sacrificed. For the future virtual banks, the KYC process must be stringent. For customers might be compensated for unauthorized instructions, but in light of the recent incidents, even though customers were still compensated, they had to make inquiries with banks and report to the police. So it isn't very convenient to customers, so we would have to strike a balance. As I said, there are two forms of authentication. One, you have to know your customers to make sure whether you are the person making the transactions. And number two, even after a bank has confirmed the identity of a customer, are they using their account to engage in high-risk situations? And is there any possibility of money laundering? So I think a risk-based approach must be adopted. So KYC must be conducted on different levels. So we would work with the virtual bank operators and clients later. And as for the guarantee scheme, we are only the enforcer. As for the infrastructure investment, as Eddie said, we would consider the financial and commercial viability of different projects. So it's hard to set an arbitrary proportion for a specific territory. So we would monitor the or assess the different projects as they are. But we will certainly consider emerging markets with the right opportunities.